What's up, everybody? It's Aaron with Blind Eye Studios, and today we're gonna talk about something really cool. I know this is called the Unreal Hour, but it's actually not gonna take an hour. It's just gonna take about 5 minutes. It's super simple but super powerful. We're talking about spline meshes. And so what spline meshes are good for is it's good for quickly making kind of curvy, twisty, anything that you want that reminds you of a spline you can make. So that means tracks. In terms of racing, like racetracks, any kind of pipe system, you can do that. If you guys have played Kingdom Hearts 3, I'm like 98% sure that the those little splines, for lack of a better word, those pipes or whatever that you can hop on and then your character, slides up or slides down. I'm like 98% sure that these were made with spline meshes, especially since the game was made with Unreal Engine. But anyway, it's super straightforward, and let's jump right into it. It's very easy to set up. We're just going to right click, blueprint class, we're going to get an actor. We'll just name him Spline Mesh BP. We will open it up. And so the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to add a component. We're going to add a spline component. You will see that there is a spline mesh, but we do not want to use that. We just want to use regular spline. We'll keep it called spline, and we will drag spline up onto the default scene root so that the spline becomes the main root of this blueprint. And that's all we need to do here, and you can see our spline. It's only 2 points in one segment, but that's okay because once we drag it into the scene, we will actually be able to edit that very easily, actually. We don't need anything in the event graph. We're going to the construction script. And so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to get a reference to our spline, and then we're going to call get number of spline points. And then we're going to drag off of this integer return value, and we are going to subtract another integer, and we're going to subtract 2 from it. And so the reason for that, mesh components are going to get attached to the segments of the spline, not the points, right? So when we do get number of spline points, that gives us the number of points, right? And then when we subtract 1, that gets us to the index of the last point. But what we want is segments, so we subtract 1 more because there's 1 less segment than there are points. If that didn't make sense, rewind it, listen to it again, or maybe I didn't explain it well, but trust me, you're going to do -2. And so then we're going to drag back off of this, and we're just going to create a for loop. So we just want a for loop, regular for loop. And so one thing, when you do that, it's going to connect this to the first index. You actually want to move this guy to the last index. So if you control left click, you can drag it to the last index. And so then we're going to take this loop body, and what we're going to do, we're going to add a spline mesh component, and we don't need to do anything to this node. It's actually good as it is. And so then from this return value, you can see it's returning a spline mesh component object reference. We're going to take that, and we're going to call set static mesh. So that's our target. And then our new mesh, what we want to do, we're going to drag off of this, and we're going to actually promote it to a variable. And we can just call this static mesh. Need to learn how to type. There we go. So we've got our static mesh. And so you could alternatively have come down here, hit the plus variable, done a static mesh, whatever. But it's just easier, and to make sure that we're getting the exact object type that we need if we drag off of this node and just have Unreal promote it to a variable. And so again, we're going to drag off this return value, and we're going to call set forward axis. We'll connect it up. And again, we're just going to take this node, the forward axis, and we're going to drag it off and promote it to a variable. I'll explain why in a second, but we actually do want to have access to this. So we'll just call this forward axis, and that will do it. Making sure no one needed me in an emergency real quick. Sorry about that. So now, one more time. I think one more time. Nope, more than once. We're going to take this guy, we're going to drag off, and we're going to call attach component to component. Now there is an attach actor to component. We want to make sure that we have attached component to a component. And so we're actually going to go back over here, grab our spline. Actually, nope, I'm not going to do that because it's going to make it look super messy. We're just going to grab the spline again, bring it down here, and attach that to the parent. That's all we need to do besides hook it up to the set forward axis. And so from there, we're going to go back and drag off of this guy once more. And we are doing, what are we doing? Set start. Yeah, set start and end. Alright, we'll come here and we'll come back to this in just a second to fill in these vectors. I just want to go ahead and knock out this loop, and all we're going to do, this is the last thing, we're going to drag off of this guy and we're going to do set collision enabled, and so we'll connect that, and we're just going to choose collision enabled query and physics. Depending on what you need this mesh to do will depend on what you choose here. For me, this was just to ensure that we are going to be able to walk, or more specifically drive, onto our mesh. And so now we're going to come back here, actually under the for loop. We're going to grab another, our spline once again. We're going to drag off and we're going to do get location at spline point. Alright, and we're going to take the index and drag it here. We're going to do this again and we're going to do get the tangent at spline point. So we take that, we drag this index down as well, and then we're going to do one more thing with this. We're going to copy these two, paste them, and then we will take our spline, attach them here again, then we will take our index, and this time we want to get the point in front of it, so we're going to add 1 to it. We'll take this, put the point index here. Hi wifey. Wifey's on, oh nothing, it's just a tutorial. We're good. My wife and son just got home. So then we've got those set up, and so then what we need to do is we need to grab these return values and plug them in the order. Ooh, ice cream, hello, thank you. When you take these, we're going to drag them, attach them in order while I eat my ice cream. ASMR. Or maybe it could be if ice cream actually made a sound. I don't think it does though. Can you guys hear that? Okay, I'll stop. Product promotion, Dairy Queen. So we are good to go, I think, on this. We'll hit compile and save. And so now we can actually go back to our level and we can just drag this guy in here. And so if we zoom in, because I'm really far away, where'd he go? There it is. We will take this guy, if I can get him. Come here. I just need to click you. There we go. This, raise it. No, I just wanted to raise the whole thing. Whatever. Anyway, we'll drag this little point. You got to make sure you're on one of the points and not on one of the actual, not the blueprint as a whole. And you want to hold Alt and then drag. Nope, I messed up. I didn't have the point. I need the point. Give me the point. Is that it? Let's see if I got it that time. Nope. What's happening? What did I forget? I forgot something. Let's go back to the blueprint. What did I forget? For one, we need to make these, we don't need to, but it's really helpful to have these public so that we can set them outside of the mesh. Double check on my notes real quick. Get used to this because this is half the battle with development, is figuring out what went wrong. Spline, target, we have a target. Set start and end. Oh, and bread. What? Let's go. I'm a little perplexed right now because I don't see what's wrong. Have the add spline mesh component, set static mesh, set forward axis attach component to component, set start and end, and then set collision enabled. So what's going on? Maybe I really just wasn't grabbing the node. Maybe that's the problem. There we go. Okay. Alright, here we go. So it was fine. I just wasn't grabbing the right thing. So we'll hold Alt, drag out, and we can move this around, whatever we want to do. We can grab these points and make it curve like so. Maybe we grab it one more time, hold Alt, drag it way out there, do that, give it a little bit more of a curve, do that to it. Sure, why not? And that's good. And so here's the part where we actually set what this spline mesh is going to look like. So we go to content, and I'll just grab an asset that I already have. We have a road. I'll just take this road segment, throw it in here, and bam, we have a road. Let me straighten it out a little bit because that got real messy real quick. I accidentally flipped the I had one point too far in front of the other, and now it's in my car. Ah, that's fine. We'll just drag this point down a little bit. That's cool. Grab the car, bring it over here, and now if we go and we play in the editor, let me actually get control of it. Voila! There you go. We have our splines. There we go. You can see it's very easy to make roads and whatever else you want to make. Like I said, you can grab any kind of mesh. Just grab something weird. That's also not going to take a long time. Here's a bump. Let me just get a speed bump. We can change that. So throw a speed bump in there. Ew, that doesn't look good. Maybe if we change the forward axis a little bit. Oh, boop. So it's stretching the bump a little bit. We can change that. You know, whatever. You can do some cool things with it. It's pretty neat. But yeah, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed that. If it was helpful, if you have any suggestions or questions, leave them in the comments below. Thanks, guys. See you next time.